The two-state solution left the station a long time ago. You, Wada, you say that he died, it was never born. Let's be honest about it. It was never born. I believed in it for years. I was an advocate of the two-state solution when very few Israelis were advocating two-state solution. I thought it's a courageous idea, a wonderful idea. Two peoples share one land. Let's share the land between the two peoples. What is more just than this? The only thing I didn't know is that nobody in Israel means to go for it. Ever, 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 never, never, ever. There was not a single Israeli prime minister, not a single Israeli government who had an intention to go for the two-state solution. There was never an Israeli prime minister or Israeli government who had the slightest intention to put an end to the occupation. They had all kinds of tricks to gain time, to strengthen the occupation, to strengthen the settlements. The peak of it was obviously the Oslo Accords, which I supported. I remember, again, maybe I'm too emotional. I remember, I really thought, that's it. We reached a stage in which the way for peace and justice is open. But it was a trap. I know it only now, I didn't know it then. Only in order to gain time. Only in order to strengthen the occupation. How do I know? Because Oslo, even this courageous process which brought Nobel Peace Prize to some people, even this process didn't mention the core issue then, and this is the settlements. And when you don't touch the settlements, you have no intention to put an end to the occupation. And if you don't agree, first of all, to freeze this whole criminal project, and then to evacuate the settlements, there are no two states. You know, all those conditions. Listen to the language of those who support two-state solution or claim that they are supporting the two-state solution. Palestine must be demilitarized. Sorry, why should Palestine be demilitarized? Don't they have the right of self-defense? Aren't their life in danger much more than we Israelis? What other country in the world is demilitarized? Why would they be demilitarized? Why can Israel possess any possible weapon in the world and Palestine has no right to have any kind of weapon? What kind of justice is this? Based on what? On being the chosen people? On being the victims of the Holocaust? On what? And what does this has to do with the Palestinians' rights? And that's only one example. The two-state solution was never born. Israel went for it after many years of opposing it because they saw that this can lead to decades and decades of occupation without doing anything, only strengthening the settlements.
There's one seat.
We have no partner. You know, Arafat was too strong, Abbas is too weak, Hamas is too fundamentalistic, we don't have a partner. Israel is a partner, obviously, for anything. But there is no Palestinian partner. How unfortunate. Many times I'm being told in Israel, oh, you draw the picture in black and white. And it's not black and white. It is so complex. My friends, it is black and white. And those who say that it's complex don't want to see the truth. It is black and white because it's very clear if you look at the history from 48, even not from 48. I'm reading now the biography of Ben-Gurion written by Tom Segev. I recommend it to everyone. In the 20s, they took already the jobs of the Palestinians systematically. No Holocaust, no security, nothing. In the 20s, systematically, they conquer, first of all, their jobs, then their lands. So isn't it black and white? And the two-state solution, which talked to me so much, was really reasonable, even though deep in my heart I knew that it will not solve the main problems. because the refugee problem remains unsolved. The Palestinian community within Israel remains unsolved, and many other problems remain unsolved. But you know, everyone says two-state solution, let's go for it. At least something will happen. And then came this visit to South Africa. And I saw that the unthinkable can happen. I know that South Africa faces many challenges and many problems. But South Africa today is a more just place than 25 years ago. There is no doubt about it. And what happened in South Africa was unthinkable few years before. I remember when people warned us, there will be a bloodbath. All the whites will be slaughtered. You don't know what will be there. How can you dream about a democratic South Africa with equality? And it happened. And it happened when nobody had foreseen it happening. Yes, they had a Mandela and we don't have a Mandela, but sitting and complaining about what we lack will lead us to nowhere. And Wada, as you rightly say, if you base your vision on what Israel will accept, then forget about anything, because Israel will not accept anything as long as Israel can not accept anything. If it depends on Israel, the status quo, which is not a status quo as you know, will remain forever. And this situation in which two peoples, one people with all the rights, the other people with no rights whatsoever, can continue forever. Why not? And then I saw the light. And I don't over-dramatize. I really saw the light. Because I thought, all of a sudden, that we have to think about the unthinkable. And when we speak about the one state, we speak first of all, and above all, about one value, maybe the most important value for this part of the world, and this is equality. This is what we lack, because there is almost no single Israeli who looks upon the Palestinians and sees them as equal human beings. Believe me, leftists and right-wingers, just scratch under the skin, and you will see they don't perceive them as equal human beings. And as long as this will continue, nothing will be solved, because there can be all kinds of deals, like Oslo, like the deal of the century, like all the peace plans in the longest peace process in history, which led to nowhere. But as long as some kind of justice will not be achieved, nothing will hold on. It's not only about morality. Any kind of settlement which will not include justice will not stay. It will break by definition. Total justice will not be achieved. Let's remember it. Total justice cannot be achieved, because any total justice will create now a new injustice. But this vision of one state with equality, which sounds now utopia, can very rapidly turn into reality. Only if we'll switch the way that we perceive the Palestinians, only will we break some kind of paradigms. A one state is restarting the whole thing. It's a reset. I don't want to underestimate it. It's a reset. It's changing the rules of the game. Those Israelis who are so afraid of it, who say, what will be with our Jewish state? What will be with Zionism? To them I can say only one thing. If you wanted a Jewish state, you had to wake up a long time ago. But you can't have it all. You can't have occupation and democracy and claim that you are the only democracy in the Middle East and have this tyranny in your backyard and claim that you are seeking for peace and doing anything possible to prevent any kind of justice. You have to choose. And the choice of Israel was very clear. An apartheid state. This is the real choice of Israel. And now, does it say another 25 minutes? I can't see. Not quite. I know all the meanings of a one state, and they are quite outrageous. By the way, for Palestinians as well. It means a lot about the PA. It means a lot about the self-determination. For both peoples, it might be very, very painful. But do we really have an alternative? And when you start to speak about the one state, all of a sudden, the sky's the limit. Because if we will reach this stage of equality, of real perceiving the Palestinians as equal human beings, the problems will all of a sudden be much smaller than we think. The biggest mistakes that Israelis are doing is that they judge the future according to the present situation. Yes, if you judge the future according to the present situation, it will not work. It might be very violent, it might become a Balkan, it might be a terrible war, I don't know what. But the idea is to change the reality and not to stick to the present reality. Yes, we will stop to be a Jewish state. What is a Jewish state? I lived there for 66 years, I didn't get it yet. Is the United Kingdom a British state? Is Germany a German state? They are perceived as democracies for all its citizens. This very, very basic value is something which is threatening the Israelis. You want to practice Judaism, be my friend. I don't need this. I want to live in a just place, not in a Jewish place and not in a non-Jewish place. I want to live in a just place, and I don't live in a just place. And the only way to get to justice is through restarting or resetting the whole project. The international community, and that's my appeal to you, and by this I'll finish the extra 25 minutes that you gave me. They passed so quickly, but when you have fun, your time is passing quickly. The international community still sticks to the two-state solution. The governments, everyone. That's very comfortable. You say two-state solution. Look, Netanyahu, even he said two-state solution. What's wrong in saying two-state solution? Let's say two-state solution. Why not? And continue another 500 years of occupation. Well, it doesn't contradict. Those who say today, the statesmen, the media, who speaks today about two-state solution, most of those people know deep in their heart that the train left the station. But they don't have the courage to really restart the whole thing and think about the alternative. Because it's very convenient for the PA, it's convenient for Israel, for the EU, for the United States. But it leads us to nowhere. And I want to say here that those who speak today about the two-state solution are the greatest supporters of the occupation. Because they support a solution that will not be achieved anymore because we missed the chance. With 700,000 settlers that nobody is going to evacuate, there is no two-state solution. There is no viable Palestinian state. Yes, I know all the ideas. They'll build bridges and tunnels, and Palestinians will go from one village to the other with a drone. And come on. We are looking for a viable state, not for all kinds of gimmicks. And this is over. I, as an Israeli, even say more than this. The settlers won. They won. I have to realize it. 700,000 settlers is something that I cannot handle anymore. But when we get to the one-state solution, everything changes. Equality, equal immigration policy, right of return to both peoples. Not everything will be solved, but at least we have something to fight for and something to look for. So my appeal to you tonight is, please start the project, because it must come from you in Israel. It will be very hard to start this, as I tried to explain yesterday. The discourse from now on must concentrate only on two words: equal rights. And let Israel say no to equal rights. And then Israel will declare itself as an apartheid state. Thank you very much.